Hi guys and welcome back to the FPL Duo. In today's video, it is the transfer tips video, so we hope you guys enjoy. It is the transfer tips video for game week 16, the final game week before the World Cup. So exciting times. Last game week, so a lot to discuss. And yeah, these are the players that we've chosen for you for the buy, sell, hold, and ignore series. So if you do like the video, please do drop a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. So let's get started and bring up the players. So as you guys can see, we always recommend two players to buy. So the first player we recommend on the list as a buy, and that is Erling Haaland. Now, Haaland's ownership is still very high at 80%, just above 80%. We know what he's done this season. The crazy season he's having at 12 appearances, um, 18 goals and 3 assists, which is pretty ludicrous if you ask me. His expected goals per 90 also at 1.05. And he's got a lovely fixture against Brentford at home. We know he was on the bench against Fulham. He come on and he scored the penalty to win it for Man City. And in game week 16, he looks like a very, very good captain option. So definitely, guys, Haaland's a buy. I just want to know your thoughts on Haaland as well, Jordan.
Yeah, you can definitely say Haaland is a must-buy for the last game week before the World Cup, especially with that home fixture and the stats to back up Haaland. Obviously, impressive 18 goals and 3 assists, and a lot of people. This is probably for people that sold Haaland prior to Fulham game where he was ruled out as injured, but come on the second half and played a few minutes and did score a penalty, as we have mentioned. But yeah, I think this is an obvious buy for those who did sell Haaland previously in game week 15. So yeah, I definitely agree with Haaland being a buy.
Yep. So if you can bring him in, we recommend you do it and captain him as well. Looks like a standout option in that week. Let's move on to the second player that we recommend you buy, and that is Mo Salah. Now, Mo Salah's ownership's just crept up above 30%. 13 appearances for Salah, 6 goals and 3 assists. So he is now chipping in with the goals again. Now he had a bit of a dry spell at the start, but he's coming in with the goals after get 2 goals against Spurs on the weekend and getting that 15-pointer. So he's got a nice fixture also in game week 16 against Southampton at home. Now Southampton have just sacked Ralph Hassan, who also Southampton might not even have a manager in charge of that game. We don't know yet, but I think that's a good fixture for Liverpool at home to Southampton. And Salah looks like he's back on a bit of a goal scoring form again. Liverpool look like maybe not completely back to their best, but they look like a bit more, you know, I'd say a bit more. They've got attacking verve now, and Nunes and Salah looking like they're clicking a bit more. So I like Salah for this week, and he's definitely one I'll be, keeping hold of as I am a Salah owner. And he ain't the worst captain option in the world either, potentially, if you don't have Haaland. But what's your thoughts on Salah, Jordan?
Yeah, Salah has in fact bounced back from that previous game in game week 15 with scoring 2 goals, and it looked better from Salah overall. I mean, Liverpool in general haven't looked the greatest this season, but you can always guarantee that Liverpool are always going to score goals despite their poor performances in matches, like such as Salah, for example, or Nunes. These players are the ones that are bringing the goals in, which we have seen just from Salah's statistics: 6 goals and 3 assists. He is, as we hope to say, he's back on form after that massive win or in the game week 15 match, and yeah, he's looking good for the Southampton at home game. I'm pretty sure he could do well in that one as well. And yeah, potential captaincy pick if you don't want to go for Haaland or you don't own Haaland. Salah is definitely a good pick for the last game week.
Okay, let's quickly move on to some players that we recommend they should sell if you do own these players. And the first one on our list is Callum Wilson. Now, Callum Wilson is on this list as he is being transferred out by quite a few managers after going off injured at half time in the last game. And he's got a fixture as well against Chelsea at home, which isn't the easiest fixture. Maybe he might be with the way Chelsea are playing at the moment, but he looks like he could even miss out. And with the doubt surrounding him injury wise, I'll obviously wait till you hear news from Eddie Howe, but I'd say Wilson's a sell. Would you agree, Jordan?
Yeah, for now, this is kind of what I was worried about happening to Wilson, as he is a great player, but unfortunately, he is a player that is injury prone, and this has happened once again to Wilson, unfortunately. And therefore, those who have Wilson have to really sell him because the severity of his injury might be out, possibly out for game week 16 against Chelsea at home. Potentially doesn't play for that last fixture, so you definitely want a forward to replace in front of Wilson if in doubt he does is not fit enough to play in that Chelsea at home fixture. But if you did have him, he's been a great returner with 6 goals and 2 assists. So even now that he's injured, he has rewarded those who have got Wilson in their team with
Mm.
a nicer pointers there. But yeah, it's unfortunate for Wilson for the price and the ownership he was at, but it's one of those things that does happen. But yeah, I'll say Wilson is definitely a sell for game week 16.
Moving on to another player that we think you guys should sell if you do own him is another player that looks like he might miss out in that game week 16 fixture as well, which is another striker, and that's Mitrovic. Now, also Mitrovic has had another brilliant season so far. 12 goals, 12 appearances, and 9 goals. His expected underlying numbers are really good, but similar to Wilson, um, whether he plays in that game week 16 fixture is still not 100% sure. So if we had him, we'd probably look to get rid of him. His ownership's around 25%. So yeah, I think he's one that you could also look to get rid of with the World Cup coming up. Maybe he doesn't get risked for that game. So he's another player on our list as a sell, just because of the injury doubts, and you don't want a player missing out in the last game week. So I think he could be a sell. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see the news. So we'll do watch out for press conferences. If we hear Mitrovic is fine and he's going to start, then obviously keep him. But as of now, with the information we have currently recording, he's a sell. Would you agree, Jordan?
Yeah, absolutely. With Mitrovic flagged as an ankle injury, for now he is a sell, just because we don't have any further news or updates on Mitrovic as far as now. So for the current moment, he is a player that you would probably want to sell just because he is out injured and it's not sure if he'll be fit and ready for the Man United gaming, obviously game week 16, and you definitely want a forward in your starting 11 to play in the last game week, which Mitrovic may not be the one.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to some players now we recommend that you hold on to. And these are players that are being transferred out by FPL managers that we think you should give at least another game week to go to. So first one on the list is Gabriel Jesus. 13 appearances, 5 goals, 5 assists. Also having another good season. He has his goals have sort of dried up in recent weeks, but he's still performing very well. His underlying numbers are still very good, and he has a nice fixture in game week 16 at Wolves away. So I don't know why a lot of managers are transferring Jesus out. If I had him, I'd think he's a good hold. Wolves aren't that good, and Arsenal are on fire right now. So I wouldn't be getting rid of Jesus if I had him. As a striker, there's injuries to Mitrovic and Wilson. So yeah, he's an easy hold if you have him. Would you agree, or what's your thoughts on Jesus and Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, there was worries that he was going to get another yellow card and therefore lead to his suspension of a one-match ban for Jesus. But now that we're in the last game week before the World Cup, you might as well hold on to Jesus because it doesn't matter if he does get a yellow card now. There is no more Premier League football until obviously Boxing Day. So as well as Jesus' form too to back it. I mean, he played well against Chelsea in the last game. He was unfortunate not to score,
Mm.
and he's a player that he will get returns. It's just you got to bear with that player. Obviously, Jesus is not always going to return each week kind of player, but the way he plays and his form, he can easily do it in the Wolves away fixture with no trouble at all. And Arsenal do look strong in the attack every game. They always look nice in every game. And players like Jesus, he can reward you with that if you hold on to him just for one more week.
Yep, I agree. He's a hold for sure. Moving on to another player that we think you should hold on to. And this is a player, Cancelo, that is, who has been transferred out by a lot of managers already. His ownership is coming down, and more people are taking Cancelo out. But maybe it's because of, I don't know, maybe lack of information managers that don't have. because he did get a red card in the last game against Fulham and gave away the penalty, but he only misses one game, guys, and that he will miss the Carabao Cup game. So he should be back for Brentford at home. So he's only suspended for that one game. So I'd keep him for Brentford. It's a nice fixture for him at home. Should keep a clean sheet the way Man City's defense is. Brentford struggling a bit here and there, but Man City's defense is very best defense in the league. So Cancelo's for me is an easy hole really at this moment in time. And 2 goals, 1 assist. We know he has that potential to get a haul as well when he does get a return. So yeah, I'll definitely keep Cancelo. I just think you probably have other areas that you want to focus on with your transfers with one free transfer left, obviously before the World Cup. So yeah, I wouldn't be getting rid of Cancelo. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, with his ownership as well, Cancelo is really high. Pretty much everyone has Cancelo in their team, so it doesn't really matter. Even though he did only get 1 match suspension, it doesn't matter that he's obviously not. Well, he's going to play for Brentford at home. Hopefully, if Pep decides to still like him playing, but nonetheless, he's still available for that game. There's no worries, even though he got that red card in that Fulham game. There's no problem with Cancelo playing in the Brentford at home fixture, and yeah, he's definitely a hold. I mean, who else would you swap a defender for? Because at the moment, there isn't really any outperforming defenders to go for in the assortment. There's only like a few, and I feel like it would be tricky to replace Cancelo with someone else that can really match him potentially in that game against Brentford at home, which could be a good one for Cancelo. I know his performing numbers haven't been great statistically. He's only got 2 goals and 1 assist this season, but he is a player that can potentially get a double haul in any game, and maybe Brentford at home is the one. So you definitely want to hold on to Cancelo for the last game week before the World Cup.
Yep, I agree with that. Pretty much with everything you said. Moving on to players that we think you should ignore. Now, these are players that managers are transferring in, but we think you should ignore them for this week, for the final week. And the first one on our list is Ivan Toney, another striker who's actually had another really good season so far. 8 goals, 2 assists. But you look at his fixture, it is Man City at home, so it is a very tough fixture for Brentford. And Man City are the best defensive team in the league statistically. So I think that is a tough game. And ideally, you wouldn't want Tony for this game. You'd rather have other strikers in your team. So I don't know. Maybe a lot of managers. I'm surprised to see he was transferred in quite a lot, but yeah, I think he's one that we could ignore just because of the fixture is probably the worst fixture he could have chosen. So yeah, what you make of it, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, Tony has the hardest fixture this game week 16, potentially. Even though it's a home fixture, as we've spoken about Man City's defence, it is very hard to break that defence. And also, the possession Man City have in games is overwhelming. Not many opposition teams get much of the ball when they play against Man City. And I don't expect Brentford to have much control in that game either, as their season hasn't been the greatest. It has a bit slumped a bit down. I don't know if that's because obviously Tony didn't play in the Nottingham Forest game, but it isn't great in areas like their defence, for example, for Brentford. And I don't expect Tony to score or get anything in that Man City game unless there's a surprising penalty or something like that. Other than that, I don't really see Tony as a forward option for this last game week. I think there is much more better options you could potentially go for that have a better fixture.
Fair enough. Moving on finally to the last player on our list, and as an ignore, and that is someone I actually own myself in my team, and that is Sam Greenwood. So when I was checking the managers, when I was checking the player list, the highest transferred in players, Sam Greenwood was actually up there as one of the most transferred in. So his ownership's past 10% now. He is cheap at 4.2 million, and we know what he did in the weekend, getting that goal and the assist. But he's not going to do that every week. So is he even going to start? Probably not. So he's got a tough game against Tottenham away, which doesn't get easy. Tottenham just losing to Liverpool will want to bounce back. And Sam Greenwood, as good as the haul was, I think he got 9 points in game week
Yeah.
15. It's just not. I don't see that being sustainable against Spurs, and the fact that he probably won't start. So all the managers bringing him in, unless you just trying to bring in a player to bench, which is no point because it's just game week 16 in the last week. I don't really see why you'd be bringing Sam Greenwood in. Thoughts, Jordan?
Yeah, I think this is pretty easy and obvious ignore. I mean, look at
Mm,
his appearances. 5 appearances only this season, and 4 of them were off of the bench, which
yeah,
he only played like 10 or so minutes. So, yeah, Sam Greenwood is definitely not a player you want to go for, despite him scoring and getting 1 assist in that game. Overall, this season, that there's so much more better players to go for, unless you're saving money, of course. There is no other reason you should be going for Sam Greenwood.
yeah. And let's now recap all the players. So the 8 players that we've picked for the buy, sell, hold, and ignore. 2 buys. First one, Haaland, and then Salah. You should sell Wilson and Mitrovic. You should hold on to Jesus and Cancelo, and you should ignore Tony and Sam Greenwood. So those are the 8 players that we have picked, guys. Um, do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This is a pre-recorded video, so you can comment your thoughts. Let us know if you agree. Do you disagree? Is there anyone that we should have included in the list that we've left out? Do you not agree with some of the picks that we've made? Just let us know in the comments below. And also, as always, please do drop a like on the video if you can. We very, very much appreciate all your support. Every like helps, and your comments and everything. We see every single comment, so we do try to reply to every single one. And as always, your support is appreciated. So if you have enjoyed, please do drop a like. And yeah, we're probably going to wrap it up here. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has watched the video. And this has been the FPL Duo. We hope you had a good one. And take care, guys, and see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon, guys. Take care.